I basically started my business over from zero, and I used the same method that I teach you in the Business Building Boutique. I did every step, and I made $75,000 in 6 months with a brand new niche and an email list of zero. So when you follow your intuition, number one, it works. And number two, I just did step by step exactly what I teach. Hello, I'm Debbie Shadid, the host of the Life Coach Business Building Podcast. If you are ready to have more clients in your life coach business, then you're in the right spot. Each week, I'm going to teach you super simple strategies to grow your business without feeling overwhelmed and without spending money on paid ads. Now, if that sounds interesting, stick around and let's get started. Welcome to the Life Coach Business Building Podcast. I'm excited to have you guys here. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the honest truth to what it takes to build a successful coaching business. Now, if you'll go back and listen to last week, this is a two-part series. Last week, I talked about kind of preparing to make the money. I talked about what I had to think, what I had to learn, what I had to feel, and what I had to believe. I think that's very important to listen to that part as well. Today, I'm going to be talking about the details of the actual numbers, the steps that it took to grow my business. This is going to be something I know that you guys are interested in, but let me give a quick recap of last week's podcast. First of all, I talked about being realistic with your goal. Remember, the people that you're looking to, you need to look back to where they started. You have a lot to learn and a lot of steps before you get there. You also have to practice believing yourself every day. I talked about that because when you have a sales conversation, when you get on Zoom, when you have a coaching call, like that doubt just creeps in and you just have to be able to manage it. You have to go back to, remember, I asked you to make a list of what you believe to be true about yourself, the good things about yourself. Make that list and go back and keep looking at it because you're going to need to remind yourself things won't go the way that you want them to, and it won't go as smoothly as you hope that it will. And so you want to go back and visit that list. You want to learn the stuff that you don't want to learn. You guys hear me? You have to learn how to do all of the marketing. You have to learn how to do the technology. You have to learn how to do it. You have to follow a plan. You have to make the plan and then follow the plan and keep doing it no matter what. And last thing I said last week was you got to hire a coach. And I really mean that. You are a solopreneur that needs to learn how to be in business. You learned how to be a coach. Now you need to learn how to be in business. All right, let's talk about the numbers, talk about what I did, the truth about building my business, how it all worked. Y'all know that I started in business in 2000 as a magazine publisher. I sold advertising, marketing. I wrote ad copy. I did that from 2000 until 2017 when I sold my magazine. But really what I was a consultant. I was teaching people how to be in business. I was teaching women, just like you guys, how to be successful in business. And I was teaching them the same thing that I teach life coaches today about branding, writing copy, sales, customer service. They just happen to be women in the wedding business who were serving brides, and you guys are coaches who are serving clients. So in 2018, I went full-time online after I sold my wedding magazine in 2017. Now, I started my first coaching program where I was delivering a coaching program to my clients in 2015, 2016. I did that in person. I took that same coaching program that I knew that I had done successfully that created results for people. It was like a beta program at the time. And that is what I decided I was going to grow an online business with. So I hired my first coach and I spent $20,000 on a coach. The lady should have said no to me. I can tell you that. I was not prepared to work with her. Even though I had been successful in my business, even though I had a successful coaching program, I still knew nothing about online business. And there is a big learning curve. You guys hear me on this. You have to learn how to write marketing copy. You not just be a writer, you have to learn how to write words that will compel people to buy. You have to learn the social media, all of the things. My goodness, when I did that for the first time, it took me forever. I was so nervous talking to myself. So I understand when you guys say, I'm so scared to be on video. I get it. I've done all of that. It's taken time to learn how to do it and to do it well. So in 2018, when I started my business, I hired my coach. Her business format was to start with a webinar, to run paid Facebook ads. And I had the money to do that because I'd sold my business. So the first year I was in business, I ran $57,000 worth of Facebook ads to a webinar funnel, which is not what I recommend that anybody does today. I think you can organically grow your business to $100,000 without spending any money on ads. And I think you'll have much faster success and it will be much more fun. But I was following my coach who told me we're going to do a webinar, you're going to run paid ads, and you're going to have consultation calls, and you're going to sell a high ticket offer. And I had 800 consultation calls in 2018 and 2019. Over that 2-year period, it resulted in 125 clients. But in 2018, my gross sales was $58,000. Now, I just told you I hired a coach that was $20,000, and I spent over a 2-year period $57,000 on ads. Plus, I had all kinds of other expenses. I mean, all the tools that I was learning, all the things, all the expenses that you guys are incurring too. I had too. So I didn't make any money. That was in 2018. In 2019, I should mention, in 2018, 2019, really up until 2021, I was running my business part-time because I was caring for my grandmother and my mother, both who needed my care basically daily. I know that you guys all have things. As women, we all have things in our business, which, by the way, that's the beautiful thing about growing a coaching business, because you can grow it to give yourself flexibility and time and to earn enough income that you might have on a job, but you have flexibility in your schedule. All right. So in 2019, working part-time with the same wedding clients, I made $77,000 in sales. Again, I just want to say, in 2018, I made $58,000. In 2019, I made $77,000. When I made $77,000, I still really hardly made any money, take home money in my pocket at the end of the day. All right. In 2020, I made $78,000. Now, 2020, I was on my way to really doing well. First quarter of 2020, I made $35,000. I was still coaching women in the wedding business. I really had my offer really fine-tuned. I was doing group coaching, and I was only coaching 1 day a week, Monday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. That's, by the way, how I was able to have a part-time business and earn that kind of money. I worked on Monday evenings from 6 to 8, and I had what I called rolling enrollment. So people were always coming into my program, and I had the same set of clients. New people came in, but a lot of people stayed. They just kept renewing with me, some of those same clients, all the way up until 2021 when I shut down that program. So you can have a group coaching program go for a long time, and it's a way to have a lot of opportunities for people to come in, and I only coached 2 hours a week. All right, 2020, had that same program really mastered. First quarter, $35,000 I sold. I was like, I finally got it. I'm going to make the money this year. And then guess what happened? You guys remember the pandemic. Right then, my gut was telling me, go coach somebody else. But everybody that I was being coached by, my own coaches, were saying, you're crazy. You've been in the wedding business for 20 years at this point. Why would you stop coaching people in the wedding business? And I just thought, this is not, my heart isn't in this. It really never was in it because I don't love weddings. I love business, but I didn't love weddings. So I kept coaching in 2020. I did start life coach school in August of 2020. And really, honestly, you guys, I just did the life coach certification because I thought if I could help people see the mindset part of why they weren't doing things in their business, like how to get over the fear of being on video, how to get over the fear, the doubt, that kind of stuff, I thought that would really help my business. And maybe I would do life coaching instead of coaching wedding professionals. Well, I still am doing coaching in the same format. Anyway, in 2020, I made $78,000. Let me tell you how I did that. I decided that I was going to use the same list that I'd already used. The 4,700 people that I had grown off the list of spending $57,000 on Facebook ads. I decided I was going to use that list, and I decided to get a new thought about that list. And I said to myself, every single time I wrote an email, I said, there's money in this list. My only job is to learn how to communicate with the people who are receiving these emails. And that is the key for you guys too. Communicate in a way that compels your person to take action, and they will become clients. Communicate in a way that they understand the transformation you provide. They understand how you can take them from the pain that they're currently in to what will be a beautiful life. Communicate with your client via email, in words, how they can get from the pain that they have right now to where they want to be, which is this great life, and you'll sell coaching. So I used that list in 2020. I went to life coach school. At that time, I also started doing workshops, which were virtual workshops through Zoom. I was inviting people that were on my email list to come to my workshops. I really wasn't sure, to be honest, in 2020 what I was selling, because the wedding business was, it was difficult. It was a challenge. People couldn't even get married. So I was creating kind of new offers, new opportunities. And it was the first time that I started offering private coaching. At the time, my coach said, I think you need to do private coaching. So I went away so much from the group model and I started doing private coaching. My marketing in 2020 was email marketing to the list that I already had, doing a podcast every single week, doing workshops every single month, doing social media, right? That was all that I did for marketing. No money on paid ads. All right. In 2021, I decided, okay, I'm so burned out. I can't keep coaching the same people. I don't have a love or a passion for that work. I have a passion for business. So I decided I was going to start coaching just women in business, which is what I was already doing. But I'm going to coach those, including women outside of the wedding world. The first quarter of 2021, I started coaching just anyone. I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do. I was finally full-time in my business. I did sell another group of coaching clients that were wedding people, but I really was just trying to figure it out. I gave myself the space to entertain ideas about new niches. I had a group coaching program for women in business. And then I finally decided I'm going to shut that down. My intuition, this is another business principle I want you guys to hear. Your intuition tells you what to do and you should listen to it. My intuition had been telling me for so long, find somebody else to coach. And once I started certification in 2020 at the Life Coach School, I thought, I'm supposed to help these women. I know this because they're coaches who don't know how to be in business. And this is something I know so well. But I still was not listening to it until middle of 2021 when I really finally shut things down. So marketing the first half of 2021, still no money on ads. I started a Facebook group that I grew to over 1,500 people. I will tell you, I didn't have a lot of direction of what I was going to do in there. It did grow my email list, but I don't know really how it resulted in clients. It was women in business. I still wasn't completely sold that that's who I was going to help, but I did that. I did a lot of free coaching. I coached in a friend of mine's group and I did free coaching where I coached 6 people there every week for several weeks. I also did some coaching for an Arbonne group for free. I was teaching all the same business principles that I do today and that I've always done. I was just kind of doing it to anyone that was available and willing to have me coach with them. I had my private clients and I let my group program dissolve. In May of 2021, I decided I was going to list myself on the Life Coach School website. And I said that I was a coach for women over 50. I will tell you the very first day that I listed myself, that was like May 14th, I actually got a client on the very same day and made $4,000. So it's like, all right, I am onto something. When I'm talking to coaches that are over 50, I'm onto something. So June 1st, I decided that was it. I was never going to email my old list. I was going to let all my clients go. I was going to only coach coaches and no longer have anything to do with women in the wedding business. That was a hard decision, you guys. Talk about guts. I was giving up the only income that I had. At that point in 2021, I'd made about $25,000. I hope this is useful to you. I hope you're finding comfort in the fact that it's a journey to get there. Once I decided to coach coaches in June of 2021, guess what? My email list was zero. I had to change my website to reflect that I coached coaches. I designed a new brand. I had to change all my social media. I basically started my business over from zero. And I used the same method that I teach you in the Business Building Boutique. I did every step and I made $75,000 in 6 months with a brand new niche and an email list of zero. So when you follow your intuition, number one, it works. And number two, I just did step by step exactly what I teach. It was all the same stuff that I'd always been teaching. I just wasn't applying it to myself. That is what the Business Building Boutique is about, you guys. Is about building a business on your terms, one that you know you're meant to do. We find a way to make that work. So I started building my list one client at a time. How did I do that? I offered free coaching. I had free coffee chats. I offered going into other people's groups to be an expert for them. I started doing weekly workshops. In my Business Building Boutique program, I teach women how to do workshops. Those workshops are so valuable because there's a know, like, and trust factor that is created when you do weekly workshops and people see you. If you guys are not watching me on YouTube, you should go watch me on YouTube because this podcast is being recorded and you can go watch me. You will decide how you feel about me when you're watching me. It changes things. So I was promoting those workshops to the very few people I had on my email list. I was just like you. We're talking about last year. My email list at one point was like, oh, it's got 11 people on it. It's got 14 people on it. I didn't get to a list of 100 until the end of 2021. So it took me 6 months to organically grow an email list to 100. It's exactly what I teach my clients today. By the end of 2021, with that email list of 100, 24 of those people on that list were my clients. So, what's the message? Small email lists work. In fact, I really believe small organic marketing, intimate groups of people doing your workshops, you will convert clients at a much higher rate than you will in comparison to running Facebook ads to a cold audience and growing them. I also continued my podcast. I did get 3 clients from my podcast that second half of the year. Of course, it was a podcast that was retooled to be speaking to coaches. So I basically started again with an audience of 0 on my podcast. I had still 50 to 100 people that listen to my podcast every week. In 6 months, after I changed my podcast to only talk to life coaches, I defined my audience. I made $11,000 from clients that came from the podcast. So that works too if you keep working it, but I did it every single solitary week. So what did I do for marketing in 2021 to earn $100,000 and 75,000 of it with a new niche where I had 0 email list? I did email marketing. I did free coffee chats. I did workshops. I did social media, slow and steady, over and over and over. I asked for referrals. You guys, I kept saying to anyone, hey, do you know somebody else that needs some help? I did marketing for free for people. I helped people over and over. Every one of you guys has a niche where people need help, and you can do that for free. You want to do that because you build client testimonials. I needed the testimonials of coaches to say that the work that I did was good. You need the testimonials just like I did. I did a couple of speaking gigs. I didn't want to do speaking, but a couple of people reached out to me and said, will you speak for me? I said, sure. $350. It was $350. Okay. I also did a 2-day workshop at a doctor's office. I went in and coached people that were at a plastic surgery office about marketing and sales and taking care of their customers. Again, it was an experience that taught me a lot and it earned me some money. I ask people over and over, share my information, forward this to somebody. Every email said that. Please forward this to a friend in need. That's what you guys need to do too. I kept asking, and some weeks I gained 10 people on my email list, and some weeks I gained none. I worked a lot of hours. Hear me when I say this. I did, you guys. The truth. Remember, I'm sharing the truth. I work 7 days a week, but I made $75,000 in 6 months in a brand new niche. I worked. I kept trying to figure out, what am I doing right? What am I not doing right? I approached it all like it was a science project, like a big experiment. I coached 18 people privately. Again, all different kinds of deals that I'd made with them, different offer lengths. I really was just like, I got to get the experience and I've got to make the money. I had 3 coaching groups. Really, I want you to hear me on this. 3 coaching groups that I did. The first one was in July. I did a beta program of the Business Building Boutique. Now, I had already done that program for many years, but I came to coaches and thought I need to get feedback. There was 10 people in that group. Some people paid small amounts and others were scholarshiped into that. I talk about scholarships when I teach you in the Business Building Boutique, but they were scholarshiped in. One client, I said, who's got friends they can bring, brought in 2 other clients. I launched that group and it was amazing. We just did so well in that first group of the Business Building Boutique. 10 people, July of 2021. Then I launched in August. I was very confident. And guess what? I had 1 person. I waited a couple more weeks to start until after Labor Day, and I got 2 people. So I had 2 people total in my second group. So I went from 10 highly successful people to 2. Then I decided, I've done something wrong. I'm going to fix this. I launched again in October of 2021, and I had 1 person in my group coaching program. What did I do that worked in 2021? I had a willingness to do it anyway. I did those group coaching programs with 1 person and with 2 people. I was uncomfortable. It was embarrassing. I got over the shame of looking like I failed. And I thought, I don't care. I'm going to keep going anyway. I said to myself, those people are going to get the best coaching ever because it's a small group of 1 and a small group of 2. Again, I incentivized friends to bring friends. I even pay a referral fee. Today, I pay a referral fee of $250. If you refer a client to me and they become a client, they join my group, I give you $250. It's a thank you gift. So from June until December 2021, I changed my niche. I had sold 24 life coaches in 26 consultations. Now, you guys heard me say that I had 800 consultations in 2 years' time when I ran those Facebook ads. Now, I did organic marketing with a list of only 100 people, one person at a time, had 26 consultations and sold 24 clients out of 26. Do you see how different it can be when you build your business this way, right? I came to the end of the year and I had $99,000 on like December 31st. I wasn't at $100,000 yet. I shared that with a client who was going to renew after the first of the year. She'd already said that. And I was telling her like, oh my gosh, I'm at $99,000. And she said, my gosh, let me pay you today. So she paid me on the last day of the year and I made it to $100,525. All right, you guys, I know those are a lot of details, but I hope that you can see that it is possible for you to do it too. I'll recap that for you. I sold coaching at the price that worked for me. I was not embarrassed about having, honestly, 2 failed groups, one that had 1 person and one that had 2 people. I privately coached people that I really didn't want to privately coach. I let clients go from all that other business that was guaranteed income. But remember, I only made $58,000, $77,000, and $78,000 each year. So I let people go so that I could have more. I made room for the right people. You guys are going to have to do that in your business too. So what do you need to be successful? Well, you need to have trust in yourself, trust in your abilities, trust that it's going to work out. Look, I prayed a lot and I just kept going. I had a plan. I was committed to my plan. I was committed to do things even if I did not think they were working. I did not change my mind from week to week on what I was doing. I accepted no as an answer when things didn't work. I allowed myself to be worried and I did it anyway, you guys. I allowed myself to feel embarrassed and I did it anyway. That's what you have to do too. So here's the key takeaways from the 2 days of this podcast series that I did for you of how to get to $100,000 and the truth about it. Here is the truth. You don't have to have a big list. You do need to do the most uncomfortable things, and you do need to be authentic. You need to show up as yourself, right? Just show up. There are people who will love you for being you. You need to be consistent. Your image matters. Now, I'm not talking about my image. I'm talking about your image. I believe that this curb appeal that I teach in the Business Building Boutique helps you look professional. I help you set up a professional looking brand. I help you figure out how to speak to people in a way that's really articulates what it is that you provide. That matters. There are so many people that are life coaches now. You want to stand out from the crowd, and you do that by having a professional image. You have to be on social media. I know many of you guys don't like that. But let's find a place. And if it's not going to be social media, then we have to find out where you're going to be consistently. Having a website is important. I know you don't want to have a website because it might be harder. Maybe you've got a website and you're like, nobody comes there. Look, they only need to come there long enough to drive by, take a quick stop and see, well, this lady does have a website. She is the real deal. You have to do free marketing, that organic marketing, which is the hard marketing, you guys. It's because you're creating it, you're delivering it, you're writing it week after week after week. Clients, I can tell you, will come when you least expect them. I told you my podcast was having 50 downloads. And in 6 months' time, I made $11,000. I'm sure that I had other clients from that podcast, but that was 3 people that I knew for sure who said, I heard your podcast, and they became clients. You have to do work anyway, even when you don't feel like it. Remember, I talked about 50-50? Half the time you're uninspired and you just do it anyway. You have to make deals, right? You have to make some deals along the way because you need to have the experience. When you get more experience, your confidence rises. You have to do a beta program and not make any money because you want to be able to say, I have a group coaching program, and you need those testimonials. You're going to coach for practically nothing and sometimes free until it works. You're going to stop consuming all the stuff, stop watching all the videos, find one coach to work with. Remember, it's confusing. We all can get you there. Just shut out all the other noise and find one coach, listen to one way, and implement what you are being told to do. Everything can work. Every part of it can work. But honestly, it's confusing if you've got more than one person telling you how to do it. Price as you want to, what fits for you. Schedule in a way that's realistic for you. In the Business Building Boutique, we talk about building a boutique business. Remember, I told you in 2018, 2019, and 2020, I only worked part-time in my business because I had family obligations. I wanted to care for my grandmother and my mother. And you guys have kids. So many of you that are in my age, you're caring for people now. You're caretakers. Like you have to have time in your schedule to do that. And then the last thing I want to close out with is make yourself a goal that really works. Set yourself up for success by having a goal that you believe in, by having a goal that is doable for you. And then let's just blow it out of the water. All right, you guys. I hope this was helpful. Have an amazing, amazing week. Go do the work, the belief work, the thought work, and then take the action that you need to build a coaching business on your terms. All right, have an amazing week. Until next time, bye-bye. Okay, ladies, that is it for today. Before we go, I want to invite you to head over to debbieshadid.com. I have this incredible Canva training specifically designed for life coaches where I'm going to teach you how to use Canva to create beautiful graphics to market your life coaching business. All right, have an amazing week. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.